Alright guys, I've got Russell here, and today I've got a very special video for you. Now I understand that I've been running this channel for probably about 4 years, and it's coming up to the fourth year anniversary of my channel. I believe it's around November. And I understand that I have not put out a lot of video game content probably in about 2 years. I understand that I actually did the video game pickups series when I started my channel. I thought that was a great way to start it. I moved on obviously to last year doing pop vinyl pickups, and I guess I've moved on now to just reviewing WWE pay-per-views, and that's pretty much it. And that's kind of sad. And I thought about how I could change my content and do something different. Instead, I just decided, you know what? Why don't we just go back to what I did best, which was video game stuff and just showing you my collections and that sort of thing. So today I'm going to show you my video game strategy guide collection. Now, video game strategy guides are guides that help you out in video games, obviously. They're usually paperbacks or hardbacks, and I have an absolute bunch of them. I love collecting strategy guides. I've always had an affection for it. I think it's just, I like owning them. It's not even that I necessarily use a lot of these strategy guides. It's just a really, really nice thing to have as a collector. And yeah, without further ado, I guess we should get into my video game strategy guide collection. The first one is one you might be a little bit shocked to see. This is actually a game I don't even own on any 7th gen console when I think about it. It's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Naturally, I have beat it and just don't own it anymore. I don't know why. I think I borrowed it from a brother. But yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Basically, it's a guide to the missions and the maps for multiplayer. Obviously, there's Rust and Terminal, the bigger maps in Modern Warfare 2. Obviously, the campaign was you fighting against Makarov, and yeah, that whole thing, and Shepard at the end, and he betrays you, and you play as Soap. Yeah, it's really weird that I don't own this when I think about it, because I own World at War on Xbox 360. I also own Modern Warfare. I think that is the best Call of Duty. But yeah, it's really odd that I own this. This obviously cost me like nothing. Most of the prices that will be on these books were not how much they cost me, so this is probably like 50p. I usually try and get them for as cheap as possible, which is why I like collecting them, because they are so cheap and such a nice thing to have in anyone's video game collection. So yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the first strategy guide. The second one, we should maybe just bundle these two together. These are both the same game. I have firstly, it's the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer guide. This was not $9.99, this was like 50p as well. And I've also got the unopened hardback for World War II. This one actually looks really nice. I'm sorry for the flare. But yeah, these two go together really well. As I said, the multiplayer guide, it just shows you most of the maps. It's actually very short, which is kind of a testament to how many maps there are in Call of Duty World War II. There aren't a lot, to be honest. I do have World War II. Eventually, I want to do a PlayStation 4 collection video, because I'm obviously here and that's the console I've got with me. And so I need to update it, because obviously I now have 50 or so games on it, and I need to talk a lot about a lot of them, because I want to. But yeah, I do have Call of Duty World War II. I didn't play the campaign. I played a mission in the campaign, the first one, the Normandy mission. And that was kind of nothing. Well, the first mission was great, and then that just didn't really entice me. And then obviously you've got the hardback here, which will show you more. It's still got the thing on the back, the seal thing. But it's also still in its cling film. But yeah, it also wasn't £64.98. I imagine that's how much the special edition cost, which this would have come with. But yeah, this will just show you all the campaign stuff. I haven't opened it. I'm not going to. I don't really need to. It's a shame that it's already a little bit open, but hey ho, this again was like £1.50. I just like going into game and just sometimes asking them, do you have any strategy guides in the back? When they bring out a couple, they'll say, oh, this is £1, this is £1.50, this is 99p. I really like when they do that. It really does excite me to see cheap video game strategy guides. And a lot of mine are very cheap. I barely pay any money for my strategy guides. And I don't think I've ever bought one at release, which is very odd when I think about it. Anyway, moving on. First RPG guide, and it is Dragon Age Origins. Definitely the best of the 3 Dragon Age installments. Not BioWare's best game. I'm a Mass Effect fan all the way. But yeah, Dragon Age Origins, fantastic game. This gives you an idea of the sort of loot you'll be picking up, a lot of the quests. a lot of the areas. So there's, you know, the dwarf place. I have not played Dragon Age Origins in a long time, but it is a great game. It is actually one of my favourite RPGs. It's fantastic because the actual paper feels like parchment, and I really like that feel. It's the same with one of my other guides I'll get to in a sec. But the paper feels really, really nice. It's got a great design, and it just... I'm a fan of the Prima guides, I think, more than the other ones. I can't remember who do the other guides. Trying to remember. But yeah, I prefer the Prima guides a little bit more. They feel nicer, and I don't know, they're sometimes a little bit more intuitive, and they have a little bit more information. But yeah, that's Dragon Age Origins, the Prima official guide. Over 100 labelled maps. But yeah, Dragon Age Origins is a great game, guys. Like, if you haven't played Dragon Age Origins, definitely play it. I haven't played Inquisition all the way through. It's very odd. I actually don't even have it in my collection. Again, I borrowed it and played it, and I didn't finish it, which I really do need to get around to buying it and actually running through it at some point, because I have bought several games. Stuff like Evil Within, like that I've bought, and just haven't finished. I really do need to get around to playing some of those games. The next one's another RPG, as I said. The paper feels like parchment. This is probably my favourite RPG of all time. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This was the first RPG I'm going to say I really, really got into first. This game came out in 2006. I think I got it in 2007 when we first got our Xbox. And it was really, really weird. We bought it from someone, like, in our grove where we lived. It was very odd. But no, I remember playing the shit out of Oblivion when it came out. And a strategy guide would have been very helpful for it. Just a classic. You can't... I think Oblivion's better than Skyrim, and I would argue it's the best RPG Bethesda have released. I'd argue that the main quest line is the best main quest of any Bethesda game. I'd argue that the guild quests are far better than Skyrim's. I think the Thieves Guild in this game is far better because you actually are a thief. And the main goal of it is to be a thief. You have to steal an Elder Scroll, whereas the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, you're more of a murderer. So, swings and roundabouts, I suppose, but to me, it's always been Oblivion. But yeah, this is a fantastic guide. Just lists characters and obviously quests, and how you get weapons and rewards, and how to level your character and maps and stuff like that. Very, very intuitive guide. One of the best guides I own. That is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Moving away, staying with RPGs. This is probably my rarest guide. I remember my brother. I went back to Grimsby. My brother said he got me something. He worked at a charity shop, and he gave me a copy of Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1, which was a spare copy, which I actually gave to a friend. And then he also gave me the Final Fantasy VII strategy guide, which, as I said, in the shop, they just gave me for free. This is nice. This is a really, really nice guide. It's nice to see an older guide. I don't have too many older PS1 before the 2000s guides, really, and they're a lot rarer to find. And this isn't expensive now, but it's definitely cool, and it's really, really exciting to see. Obviously, especially I can imagine in the 90s when Final Fantasy VII was released, this is a guide that would have been very beneficial because the internet wasn't what it is today. It's just an excellent guide that talks about the materia. Each character and what their strengths and weaknesses are, like Red 13 and Aerith and Tifa, and obviously Cloud. But yeah, this is a fantastic strategy guide. Really, really beautiful cover as well. Really, really like the cover. Not as big as you'd think for FF7 for a 3-disc PlayStation 1 game, but very, very cool guide nonetheless. I believe we'll be moving away from RPGs. Yes, we will. Moving into the territory of third-person shooters. We have Gears of War 1, not my favourite Gears of War game, but probably my third favourite. I prefer Gears of War 2 and 3 to Gears of War 1. I think that 3 plays a little better, and I like the actual campaign more in Gears of War 3 and in Gears of War 2. I think it's a little bit more emotionally charged. But Gears of War 1 is still a great game, and I actually beat it, I'm going to say like 2 years ago again, because I have the, if you remember when I did my Xbox 360 collection all those years ago, I have the special edition steel collector's case for Gears of War 1, and obviously it's been a long time since I beat that game, but I beat it about 2 years ago. And the General Ram fight was, it's one of those strange things everyone obviously talks about, the General Ram fight and how tough it is. It was weird because I tried it and I died and died and died. I couldn't do it. I got up the next day and I did it in like one go, and I think it was maybe just I needed to refresh my brain. But yeah, Gears of War 1's a great game. Dominic Santiago. It's also for me very nostalgic. All the Gears series is, because me and my brother, we would play through the campaigns together. I would be Dominic Santiago. He would be Marcus Phoenix. And it just brings back a lot of memories just reading through this guide and seeing the Beast Battle and the Hammer of Dawn and reading, what each act is, and, looking at the General Realm Battle and just seeing it, like the Nightfall chapter, Act 2 I believe it is. That's a great chapter, really, really kind of scary chapter for a third-person shooter, a very shocking chapter. But yeah, that is Gears of War 1 strategy guide. I believe this one's a Prima one. No, it's Brady Games. Brady Games are the other company. I prefer Prima. Moving on, we have... this one's my oldest strategy guide in the collection. I haven't seen this one for a while. I found this very cheap, so I was very happy to pick it up. I will say that it's a pretty poor strategy guide, but I thought it was cheap. And I really, really liked the look. And I mean, I really love the game that it is. And it's GoldenEye 007. So basically, again, it's just going to give you a run through of the missions and the maps for multiplayer, the weapons, and all that sort of stuff. And it's not a great guide, like, in all honesty. It's basically just words with very little pictures. It's just text, which is a big shame, because there's a lot of, colourful stuff they could have done with the James Bond license and put it into a strategy guide. This is also a Prima guide, but you can tell it's a lot older. Obviously, GoldenEye 007 was released in 1997, 2 years after the film. Fantastic game, obviously. I've got it with me, actually. I'm here in Lincoln. I just don't have my N64 because it broke. Sad day. I'm going to have to pick another one up very, very soon. But yeah, that's GoldenEye 007. Probably the rarest and the coolest guide that I think I own. Although I got it for absolutely nothing, so I'm quite happy with that. We're going to stick with... No, we're not. What theme have we gone with? Oh, of course. Probably I believe it's the best-selling PlayStation 2 game of all time. I'm going to take a swing at it and say... GTA San Andreas. I'm going to guess it's the best-selling PS2 game of all time. GTA San Andreas, one of the best games ever made. I'd argue the best Grand Theft Auto at least. Up there with Vice City. Vice City has... Sometimes it can edge it because its protagonist, obviously Tom Vicetti, is a little bit more exciting and charismatic than CJ is. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, just a legendary game. Everyone has played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Everyone knows what it is. It's a very thick guide as well for a GTA. Obviously, it's an open world game, but it's not an RPG or anything. So it's a very thick guide. Obviously, every mission's detailed, every weapon, I believe. Yeah, it's a fantastic guide. A really, really good guide. This one, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and this is I believe a Prima guide. No, it's Brady Games. I believe we can... Oh, no, sorry. This was actually one of the first strategy guides I got. I bought this from, I think it's Cash Generator for 50p. It's Halo 3. This is a game that I played a lot of with my friends. The campaign in Halo 3 is good, but it's not great. And, but I think that the multiplayer is some of the best multiplayer you'll ever play. I think that obviously it really isn't outdated. Like, me and my friends would play this 3 years ago and still think it's some of the best multiplayer you can find. And I don't think, as much as I miss having an Xbox One, and I think that the Halo series has lost a lot of quality, I don't think Halo 4 or Halo 5 are up to the standard of Halo 3. I still kind of miss playing Halo games and just playing their multiplayer. And again, this brings back a lot of nostalgia, playing multiplayer and Forge and going on Sand Trap and getting elephants and just filling them with weapons and banshees and choppers and just having a good time. And it is really reminiscent Halo 3 when I look at this strategy guide. It's a great strategy guide, this one as well. It's a really, really good strategy guide. It looks at all the vehicles as well and which ones have the best strength and armor and stuff like that. Sorry guys, I just got to make sure the pile is in order, because obviously I want to put back on the shelf in order. Moving on to the next one. The next three we can kind of put together. My favourite video game series, second favourite video game series of all time. We have Hitman Silent Assassin, Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, sorry. We have Hitman Contracts, which is my third favourite video game of all time. And we have Hitman Absolution. I'm just missing Hitman Blood Money. I have not played Codename 47. I don't know if they've released a strategy guide for it. I imagine they have, though. And I haven't seen a strategy guide for Hitman 2016, which I found very odd. Like, I imagine there is one, I've just never seen it. But yeah, Hitman, favourite video game series of all time. Well, second, sorry, Mass Effect is number one. Hitman 2 Assassin is a very skinny guide. This one's skinny too, but it doesn't feel as skinny. This one was pretty cheap as well. It wasn't even on sale. It cost less than that even. But yeah, this is a decent guide. Obviously, it lists off all of the weapons hither, which is a really, really nice thing. Where they all could be found. I'm just looking. Some of my favourite weapons in gaming, honestly, are in these Hitman games. You've got the 22 Silence, you've got the Silver Ballers, obviously, just some great, the Fiber Wire, naturally, and then you move on to Hitman Contracts. This was like the second strategy guide or third strategy guide I ever owned. I got this for Christmas one year. I remember mentioning it in my Christmas pickups video. Boom, see, it's callbacks. But yeah, Hitman Contracts, third favourite game of all time. I love the atmosphere of Hitman Contracts. It's dark and gritty, and Hitman Assassin seemed to, like, every level in Contracts is at night, and it's raining most of the time. Like, I like it because it also blends in with the idea that 47's having flashbacks and his mind quite can't remember, and the rain is supposed to represent that. Really, really love that. Really, really love Hitman Contracts. Really love this guide. And obviously, lastly, Hitman Absolution. I still think it's a good game. Don't think it's great. I think it's a little bit too pretentious sometimes. And I think that obviously it's beautiful. But I don't know. I think it tried a little bit too emotional. And that's not really what I was looking for in Hitman. I kind of just want a target and want an open space. I liked a couple of the systems in it. I liked the idea of zones, and I love the crowd system. It's probably the best crowd system I'd seen in the game at the time. And I do remember actually coming home from school early and getting Hitman Absolution. I pre-ordered that special edition. It was like a professional edition or something it was called. And I got free DLC with it. I got a nice case. I got an art book with it. I couldn't play it because I'd come home because I was ill, legitimately ill. It just happened to be the day that Hitman came out. I believe it was about November 20th, 2012 or something, because I pre-ordered it. $47.99 it cost me, the professional edition. I remember my parents not letting me play it until probably like 8 o'clock at night, which was terrible. So I could only do 2 chapters before school the next day, which was, honestly, I wanted to play so much more. But Absolution, I still think it's a very good game. I think I'm going to have to play through it again. When I get my Xbox, or when I get my game room sorted in my house one day, you know, theoretically at the minute. Moving on, we're moving back to the PlayStation 2. Yeah, we are, for 2 games. I can talk about these both at the same time. We have one, both of these games bring up big memories. One of these I actually only beat very recently, but I did play when I was younger. I just wasn't able to beat it when I was younger. The first one is Lord of the Rings. This is a 6th gen game. PlayStation 2 is what I played it on. This is a very good game. It's one of the best Lord of the Rings games ever made, I'd imagine. Shadow of Mordor is obviously, I'd argue, the best, but this is a very, very good game. You could play as most of the main characters: Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, Merry, Pippin, Faramir. There are 3 different paths you would take. You would do a Hobbit's path, the King's path, and the Wizard's path. The Wizard's path would obviously be Gandalf. The King's path, you could be Aragorn, Gimli, or Legolas. And in the Hobbit's path, you would be Sam, Frodo, Merry, or Pippin, which you always found I thought was really exciting. And then at the end of the game, you unlock Faramir, and you could pick whatever character you wanted for every path, which was fantastic. There isn't really a lot of detail in this, I imagine. There is these kind of cool. There's a sealed section at the back which kind of spoils your unlockables, and it says that you unlock Merry, Pippin, and Faramir, which is cool. And I feel like there's yeah, I was gonna. Never mind. I was a bit confused then. I was trying to read what the secrets were. See, Eowyn's there, but obviously he's not playable. But yeah, this is a very good game. Like, if you haven't played Lord of the Rings on the PS2 is a very good game. I do recommend you give it a try, at least. Fun game. There's only about. It isn't very long though. It's the one thing. There's only. I'm gonna say about 12 levels, and one of them's just a golem boss fight. Whoops. But yeah, it's a fun strategy guide, and it looks cool. It's a cool cover. And the other one is an RPG, and it's a Lord of the Rings RPG. It's Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. This is probably my favourite Lord of the Rings game. I only beat this weirdly around Christmas last year. I played it when I was younger. I was just never able to beat it. This is a story that goes on whilst the Lord of the Rings tale is being told, but there's these 6 characters that also get intertwined into it. There's Berethor, there's Idriel, there's Elagos, Hadhod, Morwyn, and Aedan. Got it right, is a Rohirrim. And they all have different powers. One of them's got a lance, one of them's got a sword and shield, one of them's got a bow, axe, that sort of thing. And it's a very, very cool RPG because it's like it's very JRPG, and that's exciting to me because this was probably that first kind of turn-based game I'd ever played, and it actually got me really invested in it. And obviously, I bought the game, Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, and I wanted to play it, and I beat it over Christmas, and it took me, 30 hours or whatever, but I honestly really enjoyed it. It was a little bit easy towards the end, yeah, it's a really, really fun game. And the cool thing about this strategy guide is that it gives you these cool cards at the front, which I'm never going to take out, but it gives you these cool, let me just open them, these cool cards at the front which have like stats on, kind of like the characters would have stats in the game. But yeah, really, really cool guide, really, really cool game. If you haven't played Lord of the Rings: The Third Age and you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, it's definitely one of the better Lord of the Rings games. You should definitely check it out. Moving on, we have, okay, this is actually really coincidental, this one. Obviously, my favourite game of all time, Mass Effect 2, I'll just show you it. Mass Effect 2 strategy guide, obviously I had to get a strategy guide for my favourite game of all time. I don't really need it, but I just like having it. It's really, really cool, because my girlfriend has just started playing the Mass Effect series, so she's beaten the first one, she's currently playing the second one, and she absolutely loves it, and that's good, because if she didn't, she'd be out the door. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's really cool for me to kind of give Mass Effect to someone else as it was given to me by one of my friends when I was in school. So thank you to Travis for lending me Mass Effect all those years ago, and now my girlfriend can thank me for bestowing Mass Effect upon her. But yeah, Mass Effect 2, favourite game of all time. I love this game so much, and I haven't played it in so long. I feel like I haven't played it in 2 years, and I'm having withdrawals. I've had to play Andromeda, which is I'll talk about in my PlayStation 4 video. But yeah, Mass Effect 2, favourite game of all time, still. See, all these years I've never changed. Since I played Mass Effect 2 back in about 2011, I've never changed from Mass Effect 2 being my favourite game. And it's so, like, Resident Evil 4 is my second, Hitman Contracts is my third. I feel like Hitman Contracts has been jumped by things. I think Oblivion and The Last of Us have contested it. I feel like the top 2, Mass Effect 2 and Resident Evil 4, have always been the same. And I don't think Resi 4 has ever quite topped Mass Effect 2. I love Resident Evil 4, second favourite game of all time, but Mass Effect 2 is just, always got me. It's always got me. People always say, why the second one? And I always kind of think to myself, have you played them all? And they'll say yes, or they'll say no. And if they said yes, I'll say, which one was your favourite? And I'll say Mass Effect 2, and I'll go, exactly. One of the best games of the 7th generation, Mass Effect 2. Moving on. I can't sit talking about Mass Effect 2 forever. Back to the PlayStation 2, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. This is, again, a really nostalgic game. I have this, actually, on 2 consoles, I believe, at the minute. I have it on a PS2 and the original Xbox. I was playing it on the 360 when I was last home, I believe. I mean, I was playing it on the 360 at Christmas, actually. But yeah, this is, Medal of Honor Rising Sun is not the best Medal of Honor. I think Frontlines is a very good one. But I do think, like, it's a very good Medal of Honor. Much better than any of the newest ones that came out 6-7 years ago or whatever. Warfighter, obviously, and then there's the remake just titled Medal of Honor. Much better than those. I really liked the first 2 missions, the Pearl Harbor missions. I felt that Medal of Honor did a very, very good job in allowing these historical events like they did with Normandy and Frontlines and Allied Assault to shine and to really look devastating and brutal. And the Pearl Harbor thing does look fantastic in Rising Sun. The story campaign is okay. It's okay. It's the multiplayer where it really shines. There's some great maps. There's these ship maps, kind of in Pearl Harbor, which is a fantastic map. One of my favorite maps I think I've ever played in a game. But yeah, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, very good game. Check it out, obviously, if you haven't. But I imagine most people have. It's one of those games I imagine most people have played. Right, moving on. Metal Gear. We're going on to the Metal Gears. We start off with Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. My least favourite mainline entry, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 1's better. I prefer 1, 3, 4. I don't know if I prefer 4. 4 and me don't get on. But, yeah, okay, Sons of Liberty is very good. I wouldn't necessarily say it's great, because I find it, I don't know, really silly sometimes. And I find 4 really silly sometimes too. It is very tough for me to really praise Metal Gear Solid 4. I think it's a great game. Same with, I love how I can talk about, I'm supposed to be talking about 2, but I'm talking about 4. I have such strong feelings towards 4. Like, there's so much of it I don't like. And I guess it's the same with this one. Bait and switching with Raiden didn't bother me, because, like, I already knew that it was going to happen. Like, I wasn't, like, bait and switched. I already knew it was going to happen. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2, it's weird, because I'm not coming up with a lot to say about it. It's just Metal Gear Solid 2 at this point. It's a very good game, isn't it? It's just not Metal Gear Solid 1 or 3. Like, which is amazing, because when I go on, like, Metacritic, like, it's got, like, a 96 out of 100, and Metal Gear Solid 1 has 94, and 3 has 91. I find that absurd, that the aggregate reviews for that game are higher, considering the backlash people gave that game. Like, people didn't say it was a bad game, but people were annoyed that the bait and switch of Raiden, they were annoyed at that. But yeah, moving on. The next Metal Gear game is probably one of my coolest strategy guides. It's the hardback of Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain's obviously another one I have very strong feelings on. I talked about it when it came out all those years ago, 2015. I remember talking about it in my, was it like David Fincher / Phantom Pain edition or something like that. The cool thing about this big strategy guide is that it comes with, what is that? What is that? Oh, it's a map of Afghanistan. That's kind of cool. I forgot you go to Afghanistan, don't you? It comes with some very cool prints that I'd love to get framed and put in my game room in the future if I when they get one. Very, very cool prints. Better than 3, actually. Very cool prints. That one's very cool. That one's exceptionally cool, actually. I'm getting Snake Eater flashbacks looking at that. But no, this is a fantastic looking strategy guide. It obviously looks a lot like the Steel Book, which obviously everyone got, I believe, if you got it on day of release. Like, I got one. I imagine everyone got it. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Great game. Still a great game. It's a great game. Like, there's no lot I can really say. It's a great game. Getting down to the last couple now, and Resident Evil 5, one of the most divisive games, I think, of the last 10 years. A game that I love. I've got it on my PlayStation 4 shelf over there. Played it a lot with my friend, probably at the end of first year of uni. We loved it. Got a lot of the Infinite guns. Put in a lot of time into it. Put a lot of time into it before that. On the Xbox. Yeah, I love Resident Evil 5. So much better with a partner, I 100% agree. It's so much better when you're playing with someone. But I don't know, I still love Resident Evil 5. Like, I'll always love Resident Evil 5, and it's a good strategy guide, this. It's obviously very, very good on the enemies and the weapons and where you can pick up gems, which is very important to me, someone who wants to collect all the gems and get enough points to get the figurines and wants to get an S rank in every level. So, yeah, it's a very, very useful strategy guide there. And the final strategy guide is of a game actually I've never played. I played the second one. I played Chaos Theory, which means you'll know what this game is. It is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. This is also the worst condition strategy guide I own. Unfortunately, it's been taxed a little bit, but this cost me nothing. It cost me like 99p, so I'm not that bothered. It's cool because, like, Splinter Cell's great, and I loved Sam Fisher. I've played Conviction. I've played Chaos Theory, as I said. I've played Pandora Tomorrow. And I've played Blacklist, which was the newest one. I can't wait for them to do another one. That's the one thing I kind of like a new Splinter Cell. Especially with a new engine. Because obviously Ubisoft's engine at the minute does look beautiful. But yeah, I think maybe one day I'm going to have to play through the whole series because I am a little bit, I'm not caught up with it, and that's something I'd really, really like to do one day. But yeah, so it's Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Cool strategy guide. And that is my strategy guide collection. I'm sorry if this was a long video, I do apologise for that. It was long on my voice sounds horrible, I do apologise for that as well. But guys, I thought this would be a really different video for you, and I thought this would kind of give a lot of you new people who view my channel for the first time a new insight into what my video game life is like and what sort of games I like. But I guess guys, thanks for watching. This has been Rover Ocelot, and like, comment, subscribe for more. I will soon, I hopefully, be uploading a PlayStation 4 video. I'm going to do that after tomorrow because I plan on going in town tomorrow and picking up some games. Obviously, something came out recently on a PS4 as an exclusive, and we get the best exclusives. And yeah, I'm going to go pick that up, as well as something else which is interesting too. It was really funny because I was at my girlfriend's most of last week, and we were playing Borderlands. She's borrowing Borderlands off me. Obviously, I had that on Xbox 360, Borderlands, the original. We were playing it pretty much all week, and we nearly finished it. Like, we got up to, we beat the Crimson, we beat the Rack Hive, we got in the Crimson Fastness and the Crimson Enclave that bit. We turned the Echo Network back on. We needed to just go and get in the Vault and kill the Destroyer, and that's literally all we needed to do. But yeah, so since then, I've really wanted to play Borderlands on my PS4, and I played the first episode of Tales from the Borderlands, and I'm quite interested to see where that goes, and I kind of want to buy that on disc. As you know, I like all of my Telltale games on disc, as I've got Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, sorry if this episode been so long. I do apologise for my voice again, and I apologise for the lighting as usual. This has been Rover Ocelot. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.